now. Giving my soul, I pour it out. Been honest before, what you seeing now. Back when I couldn't afford a house, I used to sleep in the Prius, no heater on site at my campus. Dropped out for a job, I just couldn't manage. Was racking a debt, made it hard to see family. I ran out of panic, I started to grind at the studio. Don't tell my girl I was homeless, was wasting the time that we could've spent. Too focused, not folding, I'm used to this. I'm not complaining, but shit to get hard and I know what my worth is. I waited my turn, look at me flourish. I want them to know what they're seeing right now is me beating my curses. I only got one life to live, trying to keep my headspace clear. Been off the meds for the feels, trying to run it up while I'm here. Really I am what I is, I went and became who they fear. She want me to be someone different. All of this ice in my veins, lately it feel like my mind is out of their range. I'm healing to funnel the pain. Let me stop for a minute to see all the shit that we never did think we would see. We was just kids in the cul-de-sac, that ass in the class with a giant heart. The memory caught in a photograph. I used to sit on the roof with my daddy, then listen to trains go by. Then later he told me he used to do things to numb out the feel of his brain on fire. I'm not really sure what to say, cause the last time I seen him, his sister just passed and I wasn't there, too busy, LA had me tweaking. Addicted to people perception of me, no niggas that cast me as enemy. I used to wish I was current me, I'm excited to see who I'm finna be. I'm ready to grow to a better person, looking back I'm already a better person. If you hate me, then hate me, so be it. First let me give you the reason, ayy. Trying to keep my headspace clear, been off the meds for the feels, trying to read it up while I'm here. Really I am who I is, I went and became what they fear. She want me to be someone different. Ayy, yeah, trying to keep my headspace clear. Been off the meds for the feels, trying to run it up while I'm here. Really I am who I is. Yeah, only got one life to live. Ready for my fast, going on fast, going on fast, going on fast. Ready for my
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is Big Al, Alan Feaster with KO Boxing Breaking News. Had to wait for a minute or two for somebody to come on live. We're doing a live show tonight for you guys to come on live and to share your thoughts on boxing. We'll go through some of the headlines tonight, what's happening in boxing this week, what's kind of happened this weekend. Click the StreamYard link as well. It's in the comments section. I'll go back there and I'll copy it again, and we'll pull that up as well. Also down below, I'm going to put down the Cash App ticker symbol. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can. We're not monetized. Some good news, guys. First of all, before we get into the show, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to KO Boxing Breaking News, even the recent subscribers and everybody over the last 2 years that have supported us. And again, I apologize for deleting the channel, losing over 1,000 some subscribers, but that's my dumb fault for doing so. But I want to thank you guys for your support. I really do appreciate it. We're doing the live shows now. We're going to start doing some interviews as well. I'll let you know about that here in a second. Here we go, guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Excuse me. It's fall, guys. Harvest season be coming up. I've already seen some farmers out today harvesting some things, and so my allergies are going to be acting up. Maybe I should have took an allergy pill before we got started here tonight. Also, guys, appreciate it. Don't forget, hit the bell notification button when we do go live next week. We're going to be doing some interviews.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
We used to do a lot of interviews over the last 2 years, and hopefully I might have a co-host or somebody to help me out to do the interviews. Maybe Steve Penn Music, for example. He might come on and maybe help us. But guys, thank you for your support. I think I forgot to hit silent on my phone, but that's all right. Thank you guys again for your support. We are going to have some interviews next week. One of the gentlemen we talked to is going to be fighting at the complex in Lincoln, Nebraska. I think October 5th. I think it's their second or third show they put on this year. So it's a big event in Lincoln, Nebraska, a professional lighting and professional sound system and even professional live streaming. Not the tacky live streaming I'd done my first show, but learn from experience. I had my first boxing show where I got to help do some live streaming, a platform of one of the professional shows. I might ramble on here too much tonight, guys. I was waiting for people to still come on. Clyde Johnson was going to be on next week. I think we're going to do an interview next Monday night. We set down a time for 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. He'll be fighting on the card, probably, I think, maybe the main event. I don't know. We'll ask him what if he's going to be the main event, co-main event. Who knows? And another young person, up-and-coming professional boxer, they had their pro debut. They won their pro debut fight is Georgina Lujan, if I pronounce her name correctly, or Georgina Lujan. She's going to come on. Beautiful young professional boxer. Lady is going to be on next week as well. We talked to her. And we're going to confirm a time with her. Then also Wednesday, we have confirmed time. It's going to be on Wednesday night. We're going to have Joey Barrero. He's a professional boxer trained with Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia and those type of guys. He'll be fighting. He has like 13 professional wins, 12 professional wins, and only 1 loss. He sparred with Tank Davis, and he has a brother that fights professionally, Ezekiel Barrero. They're from Las Vegas, Nevada. So he's going to be on next week as well. And Joey, if you catch part of the shout out to Joey Barrero for committing to come back on our show. We had him on before, but he'll be on next week as well. So 3 interviews next week. I'm going to start focusing again on interviews, and then hopefully someone will help me be a co-host and help me do the interviews. That'd be kind of nice. Again, we get somebody to help out. And also we do miss Hector Lugo with the Beast Boxing Tiger. Go subscribe to his show. He does a lot with Pro Box TV. So, guys, we're going to get into the show here tonight. Kind of like it's not really a news story show tonight. We're going to go through some of the headlines, talk about some of the things, and these guys right behind us supposedly coming up fighting next. So, guys, thank you again. Then we'll get into the news story. Here we go. Guys, yes, sir. Okay, where'd I go? I might have disappeared there. Okay, let me scoot myself over, guys. I thought I disappeared. There you go. All right, we're going to talk about, I always pronounce this guy's name wrong. I'm not French. I can't speak French. I think his name is Dubois. Won't be able to stand up to Joshua's powers, says Hearn. And we'll get into that. You guys type your comments in the comments section. Let me know you're there. Say hi. Also, too, hit the stream URL link. I'll put that in the comments. I'm not going to keep begging people to come on live to share your thoughts on boxing by clicking the stream URL link. But there it is in the comments section. Real quick, let me blow this up because my eyesight is kind of bad. I think I might lose my vision. I hope not. Okay. But let me go up here, back up the banners. I got to change something real quick. Guys, I got to blow this up for myself. The classic view. There we go. So there is the KO Boxing breaking news StreamYard link. Hit that, and we'll get into the news story here tonight. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. This is a live show. Come on, type your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. Okay, Eddie Hearn predicts that Daniel Dubois will be able to stand up to Anthony Joshua's power on Saturday night. He won't be able to. Also, that night, if he starts landing right hands like Dubois' previous opponent, Filip Hrgovic, did last June, he believes that Joshua's power will be too much for Dubois, who has now 21 big wins, 2 losses, and 20 KOs to take without getting knocked out. Now, the real question is, can Joshua, who has 28 big wins, 3 losses, 25 KOs, handle the power of Dubois once he starts shelling him in the first round? We've seen many times that Joshua has a fragile chin, and he's not fought a good opponent with power in many years. So if Dubois starts fast on Saturday, he could destroy the 34-year-old Joshua. Guys, I'm going to talk about the heavyweights here tonight. Normally, I haven't been talking about the heavyweights enough. We can't leave them in the bag, leave them in the back room. We got to bring them forward into the limelight on our show. But the only puncher Joshua has fought with power in his last two fights against Andy Ruiz in 2019 was a 37-year-old Francis Ngannou, but that guy was just a complete novice. I personally don't think he should have been in the ring with Ngannou, but what the hell? Man, you gotta make some money. Okay, we'll go on. It was a joke that Joshua's fight with Ngannou was sanctioned as a professional fight because he only fought once in a boxing match, and that was against an out-of-shape, washed-up Tyson Fury. Seriously, guys. Tyson Fury is washed up. Okay. It wasn't that funny, okay? Now, Joshua versus Ngannou should have been an exhibition because it involved a non-boxer. We all agree. Most of us agree on that. Anybody else got any comments yet? If not, we're going to go back. Most of you guys probably didn't know I was going to go live tonight, but we're going to start doing live shows again as much as we can. And if not, then we'll have the pre-recorded news stories. End quote. He says, I think this is the first time in a long time that he truly believes in what he's doing, and he believes in the game plan and the tactics, end quote, said Eddie Hearn to Boxing Social, talking about Anthony Joshua. Ben Davis does a great job of showing the mistakes that you made that individual pay, end quote. Also, they go on to say, Hearn is blowing smoke up Joshua's backside by saying his trainer, Ben Davis, has him believing in his game plan. Now, Joshua is winning once again because his opposition has been, I can't even pronounce this here, a pedestrian level. Oh, pedestrian level. Guys, I haven't been to this news story yet here tonight. But in quote, he says, he did that extremely well against Otto Wallin and extremely well against Ngannou, end quote, said Hearn. Now, Dubois makes a huge amount of mistakes that AJ knows exactly how to punish. With AJ, he's a smart guy. You can't just bluff him. Dubois is also dangerous. It's a great fight, end quote, they're saying. Now, guys, what do you guys think about this? Otto Wallin was a journeyman, so it's not surprising that Joshua did well against him. Joshua could have beaten him training himself. Also, in quote, they say, if Dubois comes out hot, as he did in a Hrgovic fight, he's a handful, but there's also a good chance he could get chinned inside 3 rounds, end quote, said Hearn. Now, he won't be able to stand up to AJ like he did against Hrgovic. He couldn't miss him with the right hand, but he's a handful. Now, guys, we go on as well. Do you guys have any comments yet on this? We do have one person stop by as well. Well, it's Bruce Gass. I stopped by his show earlier, but we had to get ready. Peace, my brother Alan. You must have ended your show already. Guys, go subscribe to Bruce Gass Boxing, Jazz and More. If you guys show up here, support his channel. What I like about Bruce, he talks about a lot of the old school boxing, all the boxing history. We'll mention that here tonight. He had a great show tonight with Tim. I think it's Tim Witherspoon. Right? What's his name? I think it's Tim. What's Tim's last name? Bruce. He's former heavyweight or professional boxer back in the day. I did catch his show as well, partly on Saturday night while I was out working late in the evening. Thank you, Bruce, for stopping by. At least saying hi. If you can't be here the whole time, that's okay. Or you can come on live, guys. Share your thoughts. Or you can come on live, Bruce. Tell us about your show if you like, and as well, if you want it real quick. Anytime you're welcome to always come on and talk about that, or your guest speakers or anything like that. We're going to start going back doing our live shows too, Bruce. So I'm trying to make time to do that cut back and working so hard. Okay, guys. So this is what they're going on to finish on saying. Let me go back where we left off. All right. I just got lost talking to you, Bruce. Also, they're talking about here tonight in the headlines, Hearn avoids rebuild questions for Joshua if he loses to Dubois. Okay. We mentioned that as earlier. I think I skipped over that. Okay, back to where we were at. I got these ad things. I'm thinking I'm not using my ad blocker on my computer, but that's okay. Okay, here's our story. This is where we were at earlier, where I got kicked off or something happened. So give me 1 second, guys. Let's get back to it. Okay, where we left off, he says Otto Wallen was a journeyman, so it's not surprising that Joshua did well against him. Now, Joshua could have beaten him training himself. We did mention that. Now, as well, guys, he goes in quote, I don't think it will happen, but it's the size of the fight and the results, in quote, said Hearn when asked if Joshua versus Tyson Fury will still happen if one or both of them lose before then. Now, in quote, if Joshua wins against Dubois and Fury wins against Usyk, you got the biggest fight in history of the sport, end quote. Okay, guys, that was the end of that particular subject. Anybody else have anything else to share tonight? And let's move on to the headlines. I got kicked off. I don't know. My computer is acting up here for some reason. Oh, they want me to allow their ads. Okay, let's get back into it here real quick. What's happening in the latest news tonight? We're going to go through some of the headlines, see if you guys hang in there, hang around. I'm going off tonight. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, guys, to do the live shows for you. Canelo. Okay, this is a big one. Maybe I should save this for a pre-recorded news story. Now, let's talk about it now. Canelo on Terence Crawford's call out. He said no comment on Saturday night in the late post-fight press conference. And let's get into that because we're going to talk about Terence Crawford for a minute. So give me 1 second, guys. Now, Canelo Alvarez shut down media attempts to get a reaction out of him when asked about his thoughts on Terence Crawford's call out this past Saturday night after his win over Edgar Berlanga. When asked about his opinion, Canelo said he said, no comment, end quote. Excuse me, guys. Canelo's tone was unmistakable, as I said, very stern. He has no interest in fighting Crawford and will not change his mind unless his $150 million price is met. That's what he's asking, $150 million. Now, he won't fight Crawford without that $150 million given to him. That's what he requested, or he jokingly said, I'll do it for $150 million. But let's go on. It's widely believed that Crawford is utterly desperate for the fight against Canelo, which would be a massive payday for Bud to help his retirement years with bumming around money. Extra money, actually, guys. But again, guess what, guys? As I thought, this is by Chris Williams. Chris Williams always has something negative to say about Terence Crawford. He never says anything positive about Terence Crawford. I don't even think one time that I remember all the times I've been doing my show. He says, after unified super middleweight champion Canelo's one-sided 12-round unanimous decision over previously unbeaten Edgar Berlanga, who has now 22 big wins, 1 loss, 17 KOs. Crawford and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh went live on Instagram. Crawford then called out Canelo, who is now 62 big wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, and 39 KOs, which went nowhere with the Mexican star. As he said, Saturday night, no comment. Now, guys, Crawford needs to start thinking about a plan B option if he's going to continue his career, because it's pointless for him to hold out hoping Canelo will give him the fight that he doesn't deserve. Now, narrowly beating Israel Madrimov is not a good enough victory for Crawford to meet with King Canelo. A lot of people are saying that that fight was too close. But a lot of people say, hey, he pulled it out. He did his job. He won the fight against Madrimov. So give him a chance, guys. Come on. Seriously, if they can make it happen. Okay. Also, I think Bruce left a comment here real quick on screen. Okay. He said, hey, peace, brother. All right. Okay, let's get back into it. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Canelo Alvarez should give Terence Crawford a chance to fight? Or do you think that Canelo Alvarez is thinking Edgar Berlanga? That's for me boxing too many years, guys, getting hit in the head too many times. Real quick, do you think that Canelo should be fighting Terence Crawford? Do you think they should pay him that $150 million request? Is that ridiculous, or is that way too much money to be paying? maybe more like 80 million, maybe, or like 90, somewhere just shy of under 100 million dollars. I don't know. I'm just speaking. We can go into some of the other comments of what some of the other people have left, but let's continue on with the story. Crawford may not like it, but he needs to bite the bullet and face Jerron Boots Ennis. A lot of people are saying because it is his best option for good money in a potentially winnable fight. There isn't anyone at 154 pounds that the fans want to see Crawford fight as much as they do with Boots. I don't have a problem with him fighting Boots Ennis, but he doesn't really. They say he doesn't really have anything to bring to the table. Joey Barrero said, "Agreed." Now, Joey, I'm asking you a question. Do you think, real quick, do you think that Canelo Alvarez should fight for the 150 million? They should get paid that much? Is he worth that much? But people say that he can demand what he wants to demand. I remember when we had Rick Glaser on. He said, well, Canelo is in the spot to demand whatever demands he would like to meet. He has the fan base. He has the money coming in. He can request and ask for whatever he wants to ask for, guys. Come on, seriously. But my opinion is if he can't get the Canelo fight, on a serious note, if he can't get the Canelo fight, I personally think he should try to get the undisputed championship at 154-pound weight class with all 4 belts. And right there tonight, we had Joey come on with this comment. He'll be on next week for an interview, guys. He said agreed. Also, Steve Penn is in the house. Steve Penn, get your butt on here and click the StreamYard link. Come on live, brother. Steve's always has something to say. Salute KO 100. Steve Penn, if he's not busy, he's a single father, so he might be dealing with his children, getting them ready for bed, that type of thing. But Steve, come on, doing a live show. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, making myself look stupid for you guys. No, I'm joking. Not stupid. Just a lot of, I got hit in the head too many times. All right, guys, some brain damage. Okay. But Steve left it real quick. Salute KO 100. Steve, when I talk to you, maybe you can help us do an interview with Joey Barrero and some of the other guys next week. Yorina Lugan's going to be on again, and also Clyde Johnson. And one of our most popular guests is Joey Barrero again. He's on tonight. Let's go back. Since you guys are typing comments, let me go back here and finish this out. My computer is acting up for some reason. Let's go back here. Okay, we have somebody coming on here tonight. Coach Eddie, I think. We have a special guest is stopping by. Give me 1 second, guys.
Joining us today live on set, a special guest.
We have Coach Eddie. Hey, brother. Coach Eddie, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Long time no see you, no hear, man. How's everything going?
Oh, I've been I got laid off from my electrical job last fall, and I chose to drive Uber full time. So I've been having to work extra hours driving. So when I'm driving in the evening, I don't get to come on live. But I'm gonna try to get up at 4:30 in the morning so I can come on live in the evening with you guys. So to drive my extra hours early in the morning.
Yeah, so I'm IBEW too, man. 613 Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, I remember. You know.
Yeah.
I was off for 8 months, man. It's just like whoa. So. But yeah, also, but yeah, we're glad you stopped by tonight. Real quick, Coach Eddie, what do you think about Canelo Alvarez asking for 150 million to fight Terrence? Do you think he'll actually ever fight Terrence Crawford, or no? In your opinion?
Well, I don't. $150 million. That's a little steep. Me personally, I would maybe give him a guarantee with a percentage of the pay-per-view. I mean, because the guarantee somebody $150 million. I mean, how many pay-per-views is that? That's going to be at least to pay for him and Terrence Crawford. That's going to be at least two. That's going to be at least 2 million. You know, 2 million to pay for those two. And in this age of everybody streaming fights and stuff like that, I don't see anybody getting nowhere near 2 million pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean?
Especially with Turkey Al-Sheikh wanted to lower the pay-per-view price. You've seen that recently. He was talking about lowering the prices for some of the fights. But Steve Pins in the music says, "What's up, Coach Eddie?" in the comments.
Yeah, salute, man, salute. Yeah, I want to talk about that card. First, I watched the card. First fight I want to talk about is the Stephen Fulton fight. I like Stephen, the cool boy. I thought he came up short on that bout. I was pulling for him. I mean, he did get the win on paper, but me personally, I think he came up a little short. Like I said, fight could have went either way, but I think the knockdown would probably made the difference because they basically landed the same amount of punches. And I believe, I thought Cool Boy got outworked. According to the CompuBox, I think the guy threw like 160 more punches. I mean, that's a lot more punches, to get outworked. If you both you got to land the same amount of punches and get dropped, and you able to pull the win out. So I think he kind of got a gift decision on that. In my opinion.
Okay. Well, I can't give my honest opinion because I didn't get to see the fights. I only got to see the highlights because I was working until about 2 in the morning that night. That's kind of mad because I wanted to do a watch party. But you didn't feel that he didn't do a good enough job in that particular fight, right?
Yeah, I think the knockdown probably was the difference because, like I say, it was a close fight, man. It was already a close fight, and then, like I say, he got out hustled. To me, the other guy throwed a whole lot
Right.
more punches than Steven did, and plus Steven got dropped. With the Caleb Plant fight in Macombi,
Hmm.
Macombi surprisingly was able to hurt Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant got hurt probably 2 or 3 times in that fight, man. But of course, Caleb, will use his experience and use his ring generalship to steady the ship and, eventually started breaking Macombi down and was able to get him out of there. But I think it was the second round, Macombi landed one of those wild overhand type of shots or whatever. And
Right.
and Caleb Plant got spaghetti legs, you know what I mean? Basically the ropes held him up. It was like right at the end of the bell, like right when the bell rang maybe like 2 seconds before the bell, McCombie landed on a hard overhand type shot. Uh, Caleb Plant got spaghetti legs, and then the bell rang. So he was visibly hurt in that shot, that fight. Danny Garcia, Erislandy Laura, Danny Garcia packed it in, man. He just got hit with like a jab and just said screw it and just pretty much just quit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just hung it up. And Rolly Romero, he was able to pull it. He was able to pull it out. He didn't look particularly well, but it is what it is. And then, of course, the
Right.
main event. Did you get a chance to see the main event?
I got to only see some of the highlights. The only thing is I could go back and comment about Danny Garcia when Steve Penn was actually telling me about he's watching the fight at home and he's telling me about the fight as it's happening as I'm driving. And and from what he told me that he got hit on the chin pretty good. He took a knee down to the canvas or something. Then he got back up pretty damn quick, is what he told me. And then he went to the corner like everybody else normally does. He comes back and they throw in the towel. He gave up too easy. It's like
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
like
Yeah, I think he was just there to pick up a payday. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Pick up a
Steve Penn
payday.
had a comment here. He goes, I believe Coach Eddie coaches my son Silas. Do you coach in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Uh,
didn't, I didn't, I didn't Douglasville. That's where my gym is.
right. Steve had a son there boxing practice earlier tonight. So his son just started boxing. So that's cool. But yeah,
And now, if you want to watch there are some YouTube videos that shows the entire fight for the Canelo Berlanga fight. You can pick it up on
okay.
YouTube and
Right.
check it out. But as far as that fight, man, Berlanga, I think he's going to kick himself when he go back and watch the replay of that fight because I mean he had so many missed opportunities in that bout. And like I was telling I was on one podcast and I was saying the key to beating Canelo is you have to back him up. You have to make him go backwards. If you keep letting him steamroll come forward and come forward, he just going to eventually just press you out. Now, Bivol
Right.
was able to beat him off of activity, range and staying active, but he also was able to back Canelo up at times and put him in the ropes, and
Right.
beat up on him. Basically, you put a guy in the rope, you essentially turn him into a heavy bag. If you can get him
Right.
in the ropes and not be afraid to let your hands go. And
Right.
that was the kid. That was the problem with Berlanga. He's gonna go back. He had so many opportunities. He didn't let his hands go enough. Because when he let his hands go, he had success, and he had a lot of success with the jab. He landed some nice punches on Canelo. He got his respect, and even on the inside, he never really used his physicality. He didn't use his elbows. He didn't push Canelo physically, push him off. You remember how George Foreman would push guys off? Get him
Right.
and just
Your
push him
shoulder,
back.
your arms. Right.
Yeah, he never did that to Canelo. He should have been shoving and pushing him back. I mean, the kid came in 193 pounds. I mean, so you got the size advantage. Why not use it? Push the guy back, bump him with your shoulder, push him up against the rope, and wail on him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Try to break him down. But I think he just had too. I think the moment was probably too big for him. He was just basically probably he just came to me. He came. He was just fighting for respect. He wasn't
Right.
fighting to win.
Okay. All right. I didn't actually see the full fight, so I can't comment on that part of it.
Right.
Before he came to the fight, it sounded like I'm coming to really fight. And from what Steve he's telling me over the phone, it sounded like Berlanga was doing a pretty good job. And the only thing that he told me that night, he felt that Canelo uh, didn't use his jab enough. What do you think? He wasn't using his jab enough, or he could have used his jab more? What do you think,
You talking
Coach?
about Canelo or Berlanga?
Berlanga could have used his jab more. I meant.
Yeah, because he after he got dropped, he actually I think he started doing better because he's kind of like he got it out of the way. You know what I mean? Bang, it got dropped. He popped right back up to me. I mean, it was a great shot. Don't get me wrong, but it was more like a flash knockdown or anything. But it was a great shot because he wasn't like staggering. He wasn't like fumbling for his mouthpiece trying to get up. And he had a lot of success when he was using his jab. I think the thing with him is that he gave Canelo too much respect. And he like I said, he didn't press his jab. He didn't use that jab enough because the jab was working for him. And it bothered Canelo. And Canelo had a couple marks on his face when he was landing shots on him. But he like I said, he just didn't use his physicality. He didn't use his strength like he should have. I mean, if you go back and watch, you seen the Bivol fight. Bivol was
Oh
pushing,
yeah.
but he
He,
was
he,
muscling.
he,
He was
right. And letting his hands go, and also and using his strength to
Yeah, yeah,
push
yeah. He
Canelo
he
back.
muscled he muscled Canelo. He pushed him. That's what you gotta do with Canelo because he's gonna keep coming to you. You have to push him off for you. Push him off for you. Tap 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 tap. Push him off for you. Tap
Right.
tap. Back him up. And I like what Bivol did. Bivol was able to get him up against the ropes and keep him on the ropes at times, and was able to tee off on him with his back up against the ropes. And
Right.
he didn't. Like I said, he didn't come soon as he went back to his corner the second round, when I heard what his coach said to him, I said they didn't come to win because his coach didn't even believe he could win. Because the first thing his coach said to him was, instead of giving him instructions, he said, "Is it everything you thought it was going to be? I told you was going to have to go through hell to get this win. This is in the second round. What
Oh,
type of seed? What type of seed are you planting? I've
yeah.
never seen somebody. If you want to win, you got to come to win. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Exactly. You can't put any doubt in somebody's head, especially in the fight. After that's only the second round, like you said, you kind of like putting a bad thought in his mind. It's like, that's what I think. But do you think that who do you think that Canelo Alvarez might be fighting next? Do you think he'll try to fight Bivol again, or do you think Terrence has a chance, or do you think one of the guys like Caleb Plant might have a chance to come back, or do you
Man,
think he'll just how he picks people to fight?
like I say, 168 is it's starting to become a wasteland, to be honest, man. I mean, I think he may consider Bivol, just depending on how that fight plays out. If Bivol's able to go up there and dominate Beterbiev and looks tremendous, I don't believe Canelo will take that leap. Because I think this time, I think if he fights Bivol, I think Bivol will probably go for the knockout this time. You know what I'm saying? Because he already has the confidence already. Especially if you go there and you beat Better Be, you're undisputed champion. That's going to be a tough hill to climb. And that guy's not going to want to give all those belts up. And I think he'll be probably going out there to stop Bivol. And it better be if what's his name, Beterbiev. If he wins, I think Canelo goes nowhere near Beterbiev because he's not going to. You talking about walking somebody down. You try walking him down, you're gonna freaking be in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So
that's like walking into an Abrams tank.
Yeah, man. I mean, the dude is a strong guy. To me, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see him angling to fight Caleb Plant again because they was on the same card. And there's really, to be honest, man, there's really not a lot of guys out there. I mean, who you can't fight. You get this guy Inglacia, the Cuban guy, but he only has a handful of fights. So they're gonna be like, well, he don't have enough fights. He only has like 7 or 8 fights. So I don't know. He maybe have more than that, but they're gonna be like, nah, we're not gonna fight him. But you got this guy Pacheco, and then of course, you got Caleb Plant, and that's really about all you got at 168. You got Billy, the Canadian guy. I mean, that could be a fun fight. You got Deverenchenko, but like I say, he's pretty much on his way out. He's like 38, 39 years old. He's coming off a loss. So who do you have left there to fight at 168?
And you don't think that Canelo would ever go up to 175?
He may, but I don't think he could campaign at 178. I think it may be certain guys he could beat, but I don't think he could beat Bivol. I don't think he can beat Better V. I mean, then who you got? You got Anthony Yard. I think those guys just too big. I don't think he's gonna fight Anthony Yard. This guy big, strong, athletic. Some muscle bound guy hitting real hard. He's probably not gonna be afraid of you. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna have a hard time up there competing at 175. He's too small. I mean, he can beat certain guys, but I don't see it. And even like at 168, only thing I could probably say, if I was Demetrius Andrade, I would try to get a fight with Caleb Plant. I'd be pressing, trying to get that fight the best I can. And if Andrade is able to go in there and beat Caleb Plant, that could be a logical fight because they got a lot of history. Canelo, Demetrius Andrade, been in each other's way for like 14, 15 years. That fight should have been happened. And that they could probably sell that, especially if Andrade is able to go in there and dominate Caleb Plant. Because he did lose to David Benavidez. But I mean, goddamn, there's really no shame in losing to David Benavidez or Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez wants no part of David Benavidez. He's like running scared from that guy. He wants no part of him. So you lose to David Benavidez, it's kind of like you get a pass. You know what I mean? Because it's David Benavidez.
Right. I remember Demetrius Andrade. He looked pretty good, and he's doing really well. So he should have that. He get an opportunity to fight, like I said, Caleb Plant. I don't see nothing wrong with that myself. And then, like I said, he might have a good shot to come back and fight Canelo, unless Canelo's thinking about 1 or 2 more fights, maybe 1 more year and retire. Who knows? I don't know. He's still young,
Yeah, he's still young, and like I say, you got Jamal Charlo, but like I say, Jamal Charlo, he's all over the place. He just got arrested.
I don't know the reason why. Why did he get arrested? Do you know at all? Or I didn't.
Yeah, I know the story. What happened to him? He was drunk. He had DUI. He was driving his Lamborghini. He was like 2 times over the legal limit. So basically, he had an accident. Then he tried to run from the accident. So the police had to chase him down, and basically, do a roadblock to get him to stop. So they arrested him. So he's arrested on DUI charges, hit and run. He's in no position to fight. I mean, the guy's struggling with alcohol addiction. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, and of course, you got David Morrell. David Morrell, he moved up to 175. So and I don't see Canelo fighting David Benavidez. Now, if he does fight Terrence Crawford, that's a possibility.
Right. Well, I seen on that night, I did see the Instagram posted because we're in Omaha, Nebraska here. I did see the post that Terrence posted, and then also Bernie the boxer Bernard Davis, he posted something as well. Here, copied it and shared it again, showing that he called out Canelo. Uh, I would like to see that fight myself, but a lot of people are saying, well, he doesn't deserve it. He didn't fight nobody else in the 168-pound division to show that he can compete or to work, to earn that spot. But that's what I'm hearing in the media myself. But who knows? But I like to see it. Yeah, I would like to see him fight. But I just think Canelo might be asking for too much money. But he said some people say maybe 80 million, 90 million. He still might take it. But I heard him in some interviews where he said, I want 100. And he's jokingly saying it too. He said 150 million. And he said 200 million for David Benavidez. So I don't know.
I think with Canelo, he's because he got so many belts. He's gonna have all these meaningless mandatories that he's gonna have to fulfill.
Right.
So I think at this point in time, he probably should just do the Mayweather thing, just let the belts go and just fight money fights.
Right.
Because you basically you're holding the division up. I mean, he already got stripped because he didn't want to fight William Skull. Well, he's got 3 other belts, so he got 3 other mandatories.
Right.
You
And
know,
I don't know about the I think the last one to take a belt away from would be the WBC. So
yeah, you're right. So it's like what do you do? I know, like I say, I see the Caleb Plant fight. I see them trying to angle that because, like I said, he's a WBA intern right now.
right.
So I can kind of see, they trying to run that back, just to
Right.
stay clear.
Right. PBC fighter too.
Yeah, exactly. Easy fight to make. PBC. I heard that Andrade called out. He's trying to fight Pacheco. I heard he's trying to get that fight. So maybe he's trying to get himself back in the mix. So if he can get in there and do well against Pacheco, that will put him up in the rankings. And like I said, that to me, that fight really the only one that makes any sense. You got Terrence Crawford would be the best option. Then you can do a rematch with Caleb Plant, or if Andrade is able to get a couple wins, go ahead and fight him, and y'all got history. You gotta have a built-in story. One you can sell anything. Promoters know how to get in there and spend this. Yeah, this guy's been calling out Canelo, blah blah blah. He's been very vocal. What for? Freaking what? Over 10 years, 11 years. This guy, and finally, y'all finally meet up. I mean, I think it will sell, especially if Andrade is able to go and get a good win against a guy like Caleb Plant. Now you have something to stand on. I fought David Benavidez. I just did my thing against Caleb Plant. Now I'm on your door. Now I'm ranked. So you can make that fight, man. Otherwise, give the belts up. Let guys like Mbili get his shot at the title. The guy Inglacia, the Cuban fighter, let those guys, fight over the belts because right now he's holding the division up.
Right. Also, I'm just looking through some of the headlines now. Uh, yeah, they're just talking mainly about what's happened over the last couple of days. Also, they're saying that Caleb Plant versus Christian and Billy fans must see this fight. They're talking about that. Uh, okay, this next question. What do you think about Edgar Berlanga coming in rehydrated 193 pounds? That's been a lot in the news the last 2 days, saying maybe they need to all have a rehydration clause thing in all the weight classes that they can't come rehydrated more than 10 pounds. As a coach, how
Yeah.
do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it didn't help him. I mean, it didn't serve him well. To me, it probably slowed him up. If anything, he wasn't able to use his legs. I mean, that's a lot of weight to put on. I know David Benavidez, I think when he fought Andrade, he came in at 195. But then Andrade tried to put on all this weight. That weight didn't help him at all. It didn't serve him well. It
Right,
kind of made him sluggish or slowed him up. So
right. Well, if you eat too
biggest
many
thing,
carbohydrates, right? If you eat too many carbohydrates trying to reload after a fight, that eating that much carbohydrates, for example, can make you sluggish, make you slow down a little bit. overeating too much or trying to with liquids and food after a fight. So
Well, for him to come in to weigh that much, it didn't serve him because he didn't use it. He
right,
fought like this. He fought like the smaller guy. You were backing up. I mean, if you come in, you're a cruiserweight. Back this guy up, and I'm pretty sure Canelo. If I had to guess, he probably came in 184 pounds, 184, 185. It's probably 10, 8 pound weight advantage. Because
right,
I know when I know Canelo when he was fighting at like 160, he'll rehydrate up to 178, 182. So he probably was like 184, 185. I think Berlinger probably had about 10 pounds on him, 8 to 10 pounds. But like I said, Berlinger, he didn't use his weight. He didn't use his size. So it didn't serve him.
right. Because they were talking about that a lot the last 2 days. So
Well, the thing
also
about it,
here's
go
another
ahead.
question, Coach. One of the other things they're talking about the last 2 days now, especially Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, especially thinks that not Canelo, but Edgar Belanga's stock has risen a great deal since he fought Canelo. Do you think that uh, he thinks he should be the number one guy underneath Canelo at 168 pounds? How do you feel about that?
Nah, absolutely not.
Not okay.
I mean, his stock
He
to
might
me,
have.
it didn't go up that much. I think what it was, he had so much low expectation that anything, just making it the distance was like some type of moral victory. But I mean, but if he really had opportunities there where he really could have stepped on the gas, and it's like he just blew it. I mean, he really blew his opportunity. I mean, when he goes back and watch that fight, he's gonna kick himself because he didn't come to fight.
Mhm.
He came to get respect. He didn't come to win. If that makes sense, he was fighting for respect.
Right.
He was he
Respect
wasn't
from all
he,
the
he
fans.
wasn't fighting to win.
Because everybody used to always call him Bumlanga, or uh, in some of his performances weren't that hot with Top Rank, and that's why Top
Yeah,
Rank let him go, or they ended that contract to go sign with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn gave him a chance. They go, okay, well, let's see what we can do. So
yeah. He just came to fight for respect and to make a good account of himself. He never really pressed the action because, like I said, he had opportunities. Either that or maybe his coach wasn't telling the right thing. That's when you need a guy like what's something about Manny Stewart. So a guy that knows how to motivate you and say, hey, look, man, go out there and take it to this guy. I mean, that's what the coach should have been saying. He got Belinga out there trying to box with this guy. Said, no, man, go out there and take it to him, man. Take it to this
right,
guy. Back him up. Put him on the back foot. Put him in the ropes. Beat up on him. Use your size. I mean, but he didn't do it. And sometimes, like I say, when you have that type of game plan, I was listening to the whole press conference. The way his coach was talking, I knew that they had the wrong game plan from the start. He's just showing too much respect, trying to box with Canelo. You're not going to outbox Canelo Alvarez. You got to fight him. You know what I mean? You're that big, you're that hard of a puncher. Fight this guy. Don't try to sit there and box him. Try to outthink him. You're not going to outthink Canelo Alvarez.
oh, no,
He's a boxing genius.
right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He has so many years experience fighting so many fights, and he's an expert at. You can't outthink him, like you said. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, it's not to change the subject, but this past week, what do you think about Shakur Stevenson and his hand injury, where he supposedly tore a tendon or ligament or something in his hand, and he's having surgery and he won't be able to fight for a while? Did you catch that at all?
Yeah, I seen that, man. Shakur. I mean, yeah, I understand. Your injuries do happen. Uh, I'm just with him, man. I just don't know about this guy. It's like he's losing fans. It's like boxing. You know how it is. Out of
Right.
sight, out of mind, man. If you sitting on the shelf, and that's the problem. These guys are having these long layoffs, man. Years in between, 14 months, 15 months in between
Yeah.
your fight. And then you
Exactly.
get there, you're not sharp. You're not sharp. These guys are too young to be having this long a layoff in between their fights. These guys should be fighting at least 3 times a year. at
I
least.
agree. I agree. There's fighting once a year or once every 9 months. That's ridiculous. I can see maybe taking maybe back off for a month and then back at it again. You're still working out for that month. You're backing off, but still working out, but not pushing as hard, kind of recuperating, and then back at it again.
Right. I mean, I can see Canelo's what 2, 3 times a year, depending on how he's feeling, but he's always gonna give you, single de Mario in September. So you can count on at least getting 2 fights per year. But like I say, the dude's got 60 something fights. I can see that. But these other guys, got 20 something fights. You guys need to be fighting at least 3 times a year. And stop, arguing about, well, I ain't making enough money, that I don't want to fight for $1 million. Man, you gotta stay active, bro. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Somebody's give you a stay busy fight for $1 million, take it. It's a stay busy fight. It's not a dangerous fight. It's a fight you're gonna win. It's a stay busy fight, and you can keep the money rolling. Every time these guys think every time they lace up, they're supposed to get $8, $10 million, and they don't sell tickets like that. They don't put butts in seats like that to justify the price tag.
Right. Another older question you might be hearing about. This just I guess Teofimo Lopez maybe clout chasing a little bit, or trying to get his name to fight Tank Davis, uh, maybe in December. Do you think that will possibly happen or no?
Oh yeah, I would love for that fight to happen because, like I say, T.O.'s another one. He's another guy that uses people's names and he turns around and fights some guy with that Haggett, that last guy that he went life and death with. No disrespect to Haggett, or whatever his name was, Claggett, but he went life and death with this guy. So yeah, I would love to see Tank go ahead and take T.O. out. To be honest, I think Tank will knock
Yeah,
Teofimo Lopez out. I think he knocked him out.
yeah, I could possibly see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. But I don't know. Teofimo Lopez can't also he can't cut the ring off too well, but that's what he had to
Yeah.
work on. But I don't think he has to worry about that with Tank, because I think Tank will come forward and out counter you know outbox him. So not have to run away from Teofimo Lopez. Okay, counter punch him is what I meant. Okay. Also, let's see what else we got here in the news lately. I'm just trying to go back a little bit as well. I have an ad blocker keeps popping up. Okay.
Yeah, I
What
see
do you think?
the Joshua. Go ahead, sir.
Mhm. Go ahead. You're fine. I was just looking through something else I could ask you questions about.
Oh yeah,
What do you
go
think?
ahead.
What do you think about this young fighter Andy Cruz? Just going these up and coming fighters that we have a list. There's a couple from New York. Andy
Yeah,
Cruz is from overseas. Uh, Rashidi Ellis, those type of guys. The guys are fighting for top rank. Uh, some of the other ones. Do you have any
yeah.
comment?
Rashidi Ellis, he's fighting. He's been fighting on freaking Team Comeback League. These guys aren't staying busy, man. That's what I'm saying. As far as Andy Cruz, I mean, he's a good fighter. He's from that Cuban school. I think he's trained with Bozy Ennis. That's Jerron Ennis's dad. So he's over there training with those guys. So I think he's
Mhm.
also signed with Eddie Hearn. So at least he's staying busy. One thing about Eddie, he keeps his guys busy.
Right.
I think that's what a promoter's supposed to do. Like keep your guys busy. Now top rank, they keep certain guys busy. But like with PBC right now, it's like they don't really have a budget. Everything they done has been pay per view so far. So those guys aren't fighting on a regular basis. Only a select few are fighting on a regular basis. So that platform's kind of screwed up right now, if
Right.
you ask me. But like I
Mhm.
say, and Chris Colbert, he's fighting on Pro Box now.
Right. Oh, he is Chris Gilbert.
Yeah,
I really,
yeah,
I don't got a lot of time to watch Pro Box. I did it first. I think they're doing a really great job with their platform with Pro Box TV. So,
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like these guys, I got a question I want to ask you. What do you
okay, go
think
ahead.
about Brian Norman turning down the fight with Jerron Ennis. What do you think about that?
I don't think he should have turned it down. I think he should have went back and fought again. Uh, I mean, I don't think he should have turned down the fight with Jerron Boots Ennis, because I think Jerron Boots Ennis should. And that's kind of tough to say, because he probably would have put himself at a higher risk to lose, because Jerron is pretty good, and that's probably why he backed out. My opinion. He didn't want to hurt his record in any kind of way, but I think it would have gave him the experience, and who knows, he could still possibly won. I don't know, in my opinion, in that. So
Yeah, I kind of had mixed feel. I thought about it. At first I could say, okay,
you
they
think he
want to go to.
lost Jerron?
Well, they wanted to go to Philly, so I think they wanted to have a fight in Philadelphia. So I think what it was, they were trying to squeeze another 200,000 or 200 or $250,000 out of the deal. Which, I mean, $1.7 million. I mean, that's decent money. I mean, that's not bad money. Coming to your last fight, you just made 200 grand. But then I can kind of see the long game too. Where they probably thinking, well, if we fight later, it could possibly be for more money. But then the thing is, you got to stay undefeated.
Right.
If I had to pick one that would lose, between Jerron and Norman, who would if I would bet who would lose first before they got at each other, it would probably be Norman, because he's been hot and cold. Sometimes he looks good, and then sometimes he don't look good.
Right.
And
I
that's
did.
what happened.
Okay, I know you had to break up my memories. I used to box. I have a head injury to remember some things. I remember seeing an interview with Brian Norman Senior, his father. I think it was was it with Fanon International Boxing Talk, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on Fanon's show. And when I seen that, from what I heard when I was paying attention to it, is that that's what they wanted. They thought, well, if the government takes 40%, 50% in taxes, this only leaves us with this much money. We're not going to have that much left over. And then plus, after paying uh, the other people that we have to pay, there's not going to be much of a purse left. So they're trying to squeeze a little bit extra out on top of that to make it worth their while, from my understanding from what he was talking about. And then, but his confidence level, he thought, well, my son can beat Jerron. He felt that maybe Jerron was maybe scared to fight him, from his interview. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking like this: if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm thinking if Brian was the higher up guy, or maybe the guy that would look like that's supposed to be the higher paid fighter, or Brian was making them. Let's say I think Jerron has a guarantee of like $2 or $3 million. So let's say that Brian was making $3 million, and they offered Jerron 1.7 to fight Brian for the belt. I think Jerron would probably took that fight, because I think he's more confident that he can beat Brian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I'll take that fight because I'm going to win anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when Devin Haney took the fight against Cambosa. He's like, yeah, I'll take the fight because I'm going to beat him anyway.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. My opinion. Yeah, that's if it was on the other foot, I think Jerron would have went for it and said, "Let's go." It would
Yes,
have been
I
no.
think that's what it was. I mean, I know it's a risky fight, but I can see that. I can see too. You go into a guy's backyard, man. It's like you go into somebody's hometown. Any of those close rounds, man. 'Cause 9 times out of 10, they know they're not knocking Jerron out. You know what I mean? He ain't knocking the guy out. So any of those close rounds, you already know it's gonna go to the hometown guy anyway. So he's like,
Right.
you're going in the enemy territory, but you really gonna have to knock this guy out in his backyard to win that fight. Now, if it's on neutral ground, that's something different. But
Right.
going in the guy's backyard, you got the
Nope.
home cooking and all that stuff.
Right.
Good luck with that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Unless he gets knocked out by Jerron Boots and his, then he can't say, "Well, I got the judges robbed me."
Yeah,
It was,
yeah. So, but that's what it is. But then you think about guys like Usyk. This guy goes in people's backyards and he beats them up in their backyard. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
I mean, you
Exactly.
talking about a supremely confident guy who's going up against much bigger guys and going
Yep.
in their backyard and beating them at home.
Exactly. I don't think guys like Beterbiev, Bivol, Usyk, those guys, those type of guys, they're not afraid to fight anybody anywhere. So
Yeah, you're right. They go in people's backyard and they fight them, man. And
yeah,
that's what you have to do sometimes to make a name for yourself. I mean, look when Anthony Joshua when he went and fought Klitschko, he was the underdog in that fight. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Nobody expected. Everybody was thought it was too early. If you really kind of go back in time, everybody say, "Oh, it's too early. He's too green." Klitschko's too guy has too much experience. Probably the kid was probably gonna get knocked out, and most people were thinking that Joshua was going to get knocked out. I mean, he fought him in his own backyard. If I remember correctly, he was over there in freaking Russia or something.
Right.
You know,
So what do you think about their fight coming up with Dubois and Joshua coming up?
man, that fight could end early.
Yeah.
it really that fight could win. Cause right now it's like Dubois has been looking better. I mean, even when he fought Big Baby,
Right.
and when he fought Filip Hrgovic. But the thing about Dubois, he gets hit a lot, man. He get punched a lot, man. And that fight, I mean, Dubois definitely had a chance because he does have good power. He's a young guy. He's strong, but I don't think he's the smartest fighter. You know what I mean?
Right. Ring IQ and far as
Yeah, yeah. He's not the smartest guy in that boxing ring. I mean, not saying he's a dumb guy, but he's not like a Mayweather or somebody with this high boxing IQ.
right. Exactly. I was just curious about that because, yeah, I remember seeing Brian Norman earlier as we were talking about him in his interview. I just had to click my memory. Also, we were talking about the fight earlier. What did you think when we were talking about this fight earlier with McCumbee and Caleb Plant? Did you think McCumbee looked pretty good up until he got stopped?
McCombie, he came to fight. You know,
Right.
I think he came to fight. I think he got outclassed. Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's a good boxer. He's a good technician. Got decent hand speed, decent power, good footwork. Yeah, but McCombie, I think he did the best that he could with what he had. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what surprised me, he was able to hurt Caleb a couple times in that fight. That was surprising. I think in the second round he was able to land some of those overhand shots and was able to get a little spaghetti leg going with Caleb Plant.
They're talking about here in one of the other headlines. They're saying Jerome Boots Ennis and Bam Rodriguez, a double header possible for November 9th in the news as well. So,
So who is Jerron who's he supposed to be fighting? That guy doing a
uh,
rematch for that guy Karen?
now let's double check. I think that's what I was trying to ask you earlier. Let me go through it real quick. A double header between Jerome Boots Ennis and Karen Chuck Hazian. I can't pronounce his name correctly.
Yeah, I remember that guy he fought. Yeah, I remember that kid.
Yeah, he's the one that was doing a lot of backpedaling and they said doing too much running, and Jerron wasn't able to cut the ring off on him as much. They were saying, and that's in his lackluster performance during that fight. All the negative stuff they were saying during that time. So
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, he deserved a little criticism for that fight because he didn't cut the ring off. He was loading up on punches. He didn't cut the ring off properly, so hopefully he can get the job done this time. He goes over there. That guy Roman Vila, he got knocked out. The
yeah.
one
Oh,
that Jerome fought, he got knocked out on the undercard, man.
yeah, I didn't know that. Did he fight this weekend, or where did he fight at?
Yeah, he fought this weekend. He fought on the Canelo Alvarez preliminary bouts.
Oh, prelims. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he fought on the prelim. I think he got knocked out like in the third or fourth round, something like that. But
Wow, I'm
one just
surprised.
one
I've never
punch,
seen
man.
him fight.
Yeah,
I thought he was a tough fighter.
yeah, he
Yeah.
got knocked out one punch, man. One straight right hand down the pipe, put him down. And
Uh,
he didn't beat the count. I just put it like that. He didn't beat the count.
okay. Now, what do you think about these lightweights like Bam Rodriguez? He's getting a lot of recognition and news over this past couple of years. Do you like him? Have you seen him fight? Or
Oh yeah, I seen him. I hadn't been following him for a long time, but I did see him fight. I think I seen his last fight. You know, I think he's a good fighter, man. I mean, he's a good action packed fighter. I think that Monster Anyway is starting to put a lot of eyes on the lighter division because me personally, I never really watched any guys, you know, pretty much 130, 135 down.
yeah,
I watched Shakur sometime. He was like 126, but I never really watched a lot of smaller guys. So they're starting to bring some notoriety to those smaller divisions. So it's good for boxing.
right. On Bruce Gass' Boxing Jazz and More's show or podcast earlier today, he talks a lot about the boxing history, and they were going over the super fight Sugar Ray Leonard versus Thomas Hearn took place today in 1981. It's still the greatest welterweight battle ever, they're saying. So, do you remember watching that fight when you were younger with the Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns?
Yeah, I wasn't born when that fight happened. I don't
But
think
you
I
see,
when that fight happened. What was it in the 80s?
1981.
I was 3 years old. I did see the replay though.
Yeah, as a teenager
Yeah,
at that time, I'm 58 years old now.
yeah. I'm 46. I did see the replay. I seen number one, and I think I seen they fought 3 times, right?
Right, they did.
Yeah, I know that Sugar Ray that fight they called a draw. I thought he lost that fight.
Right. And then also, okay, that's basically the main stuff that's been going on in the news because everybody's complaining a little bit, saying it's kind of slow in boxing the last couple of weeks. And I was just going through some of the headlines, some of the things that could talk about or ask you questions about since you're a serious boxing fan. Steve Penn and myself, I guess I used to box, but I can say I'm because what do you call it, a casual fan. No, but for me, it's mainly remembering everything that I read or everything I watch to access my memory from all the head concussions that I received when I was younger. I have white matter on my frontal lobe. Had so they're concerned about my. The doctors say I don't lose my memory. I just can't access the memory unless somebody triggers something or take notes and write something down.
Oh, how
So
long? How long did you box?
I stopped when I was 22, and then I tried to come back at 37, which I shouldn't have done. Taking all that time off and tried to come back at 22 years of age. Sorry,
Oh,
37 years of age.
okay. Did you fight? Did you have any pro fights?
Yeah, I'd had a couple, but didn't work out. I didn't take it super serious because I was out
Yeah,
partying. No, no, not training right, out in the streets. At
yeah,
37 years of age. Yet.
yeah.
But
I had three pro fights myself. I had three
right,
pro fights, and I had some amateur fights.
I was
So
actually
yeah,
a bit amateur during the amateur time period. But yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else we could talk about tonight as well, Coach Eddie. Now, you coach there in a suburb of Atlanta for your boxing team, correct?
yes, sir. Yes, yes. I'm a coach out here in Douglasville. Probably about 15, 20 minutes from the Atlanta metro area. But
That's cool.
well, I'm glad. I like what Turkey Al is doing. I think I actually enjoy his cards, man. He's put on some good fights, and I think what's happening is that a lot of these guys, you know, the guys like the big stars or the people who think they're stars, like like your Tank, your Shakurs, your Ryan Garcia, your Devin Haney's, and your Canelo Alvarez's. All these guys, they're not fighting enough. And like I say, when you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And what I like what Turkey Al is doing because basically he's kind of like catering more like to the hardcore boxing fan than the casual fan. Because I
Right.
I enjoy I enjoy the card. I mean, I like boxing. I don't fall in love with no boxer. I missed I remember when we used to watch Tuesday night fights and Friday
Hmm.
night fights. I used to look forward to those days, man. I just want to see a good scrap. I don't really care about oh, this guy, freaking limelight boxer who only fight once a year. You know what I'm saying? Wait for this guy like Christmas to come around. You know what I'm saying? This you gotta wait like 365 days to see you fight, man. Like,
Right.
yeah, these guys think they're bigger than the sport, and that's what the problem is.
Right. I'm starting to see that a little bit, even for up and coming professional boxers. Guys like 2-0, 1-0, or 6-0, or just only fighting on their own local shows. They're not going on the road to go fight. That type of thing. I'm starting to see that a little bit, even in the professional ranks and the guys up and coming, the prospects.
Yeah.
So
Well,
and
which we lost our two staples. We lost HBO boxing and we lost
right,
Showtime boxing, and those were some staples in the boxing community. We also
right,
lost, ESPN Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights. There were a lot of guys made their bones at right there. We lost Showbox. There were a lot of guys made their bones at coming
right.
up fighting on Showbox. Then you graduate from Showbox to championship boxing. So, like I say, now we're pro box. I like what pro box is doing because at least it's giving these lower tier guys an opportunity, to fight and make some money, and also be televised because, like I say, it's slim pickings right now, man. I mean, if you're not with Eddie Hearns, if you're not with Al Heyman, if you're not with Bob Arum, I mean, you're not fighting.
Or Golden Boy.
Yeah,
Or Gold,
yeah, Golden Boy. I mean, those are your four players right now.
right,
The Showtime going out. I mean, that really hurt a lot of guys, man. That kept a lot of guys busy. Showtime did, and they
right.
had they had a but they had a budget, so they was able to put on free shows and stuff. So
Exactly.
on subscription TV. So Turkey Al Sheik has been good because he's been putting a lot of money in these boxers' pocket and keeping guys busy. And not only that, he's putting on competitive fights, man. He's not just this is
Right,
not just one sided beatdowns. You know what I'm saying? These are competitive fights, and that's good for boxing.
right. I seen one of the competitive fights that I like watching on Turkey Al Sheikh's last card, well, Terrence Crawford's card. I was with Steven So Cold Nelson here in Omaha. Steven's been on my show doing an interview, but I'm just really impressed. He's been going through a lot this past year, and to see him come out and he goes, "That's why I dressed like Tupac. I felt like the media and everybody's treating me like I was Tupac." Tupac.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
seen I seen that fight. Yeah, I seen he was able to get the stoppage on that guy. I seen that.
and that was a very good matched fight. The guy wasn't a slouch. He's still a pretty good fighter. And the only thing I don't like about Turkey Al Sheikh's Riyadh season cards, they kind of drag it out a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Especially if I try to do a watch party and I'm about ready to fall asleep. It's like, no, I enjoy it. I enjoy every one of the fights. They just need to kind of tighten the length of the show up a little bit, not making it so
Oh
long.
yeah. Yeah, because basically it's an all day event pretty much. I mean, you talking what 6 to 8
I was
hours of boxing. You
yeah, like
know,
8 or 9 hours of boxing
yeah.
show.
And if you're a boxing junkie, I mean, hey, that's great, man. You sitting around on a Saturday, you ain't doing nothing. You just
Right,
glued to the television and just watching boxing, man. But shoot, I
right,
think this card this Saturday, the Anthony Joshua card, there's some good fights on that card, man. Good fights.
right.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that one I might still pay for and still do a watch party for that one. I'll see as the weekend gets closer. So I have to watch my budget more lately because I'm working for myself.
Oh
So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're exactly right, man.
yeah, so not with the electrical unit. I'm still paying my dues, or still trying to got to get caught up on that. Make sure stays up.
Yeah.
But the
So
problem is,
yeah.
is that they offered me a job in Lincoln, Nebraska, which is an hour away, but it's an hour there, hour back, and probably working some overtime. I'd be burned out, as far as travel and stuff. So, and they weren't. It was like $4 less per hour, as far as on the check. So,
Oh
but
yeah, I understand. Yeah, the scale. They got a different scale up there. Huh?
Right. They have in the Omaha scale, it pays like $43 an hour, and they paid like barely $30 an hour, I think, maybe now. I have to double check on that. But
Shit, man, Atlanta scale is trash, man. That's why I went. I started working maintenance. Man, I got me a maintenance job. I still keep my keep my union dues paid up. It's like I think Atlanta scales like $34, man, something like that, man. It's like the plumbers down here, they freaking got a $9 raise, man. I'm like, what the heck's going on, man? Your plumbers got $9 raise, and then we didn't get jack, man. You know what I'm saying?
right. So, but Coach Eddie, I'm glad you came on. I have to get up
Yeah,
early
man.
tomorrow.
You take care, brothers. Be cool, man. Oh, hey, good luck to you, man.
You're always welcome to come on anytime, or anything new comes up, or keep me informed because you're educating me a little bit tonight because I fell out of the loop, or things like that. But you're more of a serious boxing fan than me. I'm a serious boxing fan, but you have a very good memory and watching all the fights, and that's cool. And
Cool,
shout out
man.
to everybody else that came on tonight. But Coach, we appreciate you so much, and
Yes,
thank
sir. Take care, my brother. Be cool, man. Yes, sir.
yeah, appreciate it, brother. And you're welcome to come back on anytime.
Anytime. Yes,
Have a,
sir.
have a nice week.
You too, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm in my show here tonight. I was getting a little tired because I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning. We appreciate Coach Eddie coming on from the Atlanta, Georgia area. He's a coach in Steve Penn's son now, I guess. That's pretty exciting. And Steve, thank you for stopping by, making some comments. Joey Barrero stopped by and left some comments. So Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More. Again, go subscribe to Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More show. He talks a lot about boxing history. They're real boxing enthusiasts as far as past fights, the older fights, and they know a lot of boxing history on that channel. And Joey Barrero will be on next week for an interview. Joey Barrero, he's 13 or 12 and 1. He sparred with Tank Davis again, Ryan Garcia, some of those guys from Las Vegas. That's where he's from. He lived in Colorado for a little bit as well, but I think he moved back to Vegas. We'll find out next week where he's living at now, or maybe Puerto Rico. Who knows? Maybe he moved to Puerto Rico. But I don't mean to ramble on, guys. We had a nice show tonight with Coach Eddie and Steve Lee coming by, leaving some comments. We appreciate his knowledge in boxing and serious boxing coach and fan as well. So, guys, appreciate your support tonight. Hit the StreamYard, hit the subscribe button. I'm getting tired. So just remember, hit the subscribe, hit the like button to be notified when I do go live with any news stories or come on live for you guys to share your thoughts on boxing. I appreciate it, guys, tonight. Let me get rid of this banner here below. We're going to say goodnight here in 1 second. We appreciate everybody coming on tonight. And thank you for my first live show in a while, so I'm making a few mistakes, but appreciate that, guys. Thank you for stopping by again. Everybody say goodnight to this pretty lady here, and we'll catch you guys next time here at KO Boxing Breaking News. Everybody have a wonderful night.